my name is Jennifer. Welcome to my channel, Narcshield. I talk about narcissistic abuse, and I am a narcissistic abuse survivor. It's been a really long time ago, but I do bring awareness, and I've been trying to do that for the last 4 years. So welcome to my channel. I would love it if you would please subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell so that you will get notifications when I post new videos. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for coming back if you've been here before. Tonight I want to talk about therapy a little bit. I just want to touch on it. I did a video on it, but then I decided to redo it. There's actually a couple of videos that I decided to redo a little bit. I'm trying to keep the videos a little shorter because they take so long to download. So if I don't touch on everything, it's just hitting little spots of things that I thought were important, and I may go back and do different videos. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the therapy because there are so many people who ask me about that and how to get someone that they have been in a toxic relationship with first into therapy. And that's pretty difficult. A lot of times it's when the relationship is over. And a narcissistic person, they don't believe that you will leave them because you never do or you haven't yet. And so they're used to you making these soft threats and not following through. And so they just don't really... They cross your boundaries all the time and they don't believe you. And so when you finally do leave, if you're the one who is leaving them, many times that's when they will want to go into therapy, and they will sit and do that with you. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit. Also, another reason that they might go into therapy is if it was mandated by the court for them to go to therapy, then they have to do that. And also, if they want to hold up the facade and they are playing the victim and they want to use it as part of their story to let people know that they tried with you. So they may try a little bit, but I'm telling you, if they go at all, it's going to be 1, 2, maybe 3 sessions. And it's going to be very obvious that they are not in it to really do anything to help the marriage. And if they're a narcissist, they're going to lie. So what I wanted to talk about, and I've mentioned it before many times, is when you are thinking about going into therapy and you are in a toxic relationship and you are in the cycles of abuse and you recognize that, it is really important that you really research your therapist and make sure that they understand this type of abuse. Because if you don't go to someone like that, you may just go to a family therapist who believes in talk therapy. Talk therapy is good, but it'll be about communication. You guys just need to learn how to communicate. I have a book in front of me, and I had put it in the last video, and it wasn't that I was putting the book down. It was just that I wasn't agreeing with it with this type of relationship, and I'm afraid to do that because I don't know if that's okay or not. And if it is okay, then you guys can let me know in the comments. But you'll hear things like, you need deeper intimacy, and to make a stronger marriage, you need to build on your communication. And let me give you workbooks to work on, and you guys do that so that you can build autonomy. I believed in that kind of stuff too. However, if you are in a toxic relationship and if you are with a narcissistic person, a highly narcissistic or a narcissistic person, a sociopath, psychopath, you are not going to get results with this kind of therapy. So it's really important to know that you need to go to someone who is going to recognize the cycles of abuse and know about behavioral therapy. Very experienced in that. Otherwise, you're going to feel re-victimized again, because a narcissistic person, they are very manipulative. They've been doing it for years. They can do it with a straight face, and they are very charming. They can also, so there's different types of narcissists. So there's the types that can play the victim really well, and then there's the types that are super charming, and they can even fool a therapist if this isn't something that they're qualified in. I'm not saying that they're not qualified in other areas, and they may be really good in those areas, but if it's not this, you could be re-victimized, and I'm telling you, it will make you feel crazy and upset and feel like you wasted your time, wasted your money, feel like you're just being abused all over again. It can cause you to be triggered big time. So I would research really well, and because you don't want the therapist to also be manipulated by this person. And most of us go in more emotional, and someone like a narcissist, sociopathic type person, they can keep their emotions most of the time. If they're really good at manipulating, they can keep them calm and in check so that you look like the highly emotional one that's unstable, and they feel like they have better leverage. Now, if you're dealing with someone who is lesser narcissist, which is a term used by HG Tudor, and you can look that up at Knowing the Narcissist right here on YouTube. That could be different, but I'm not going to go into all of that tonight. So you just want to be sure that you have someone who is trained in recognizing these types of manipulations, and that way you you have a fair chance there in therapy. If you go to therapy and you're trying to make your relationship work with a narcissist or a person that is in the DSM of a personality disorder, I talk on narcissistic personality disorder. So, but even like antisocial personality disorder, any of them, you're in for a lot of hard work, and so are they. And they aren't the type of people who want to do a lot of hard work. They want people to do the work for them. And so it's unlikely that you're going to get what you're going there looking for. But what I'm hoping happens is that you recognize that you really are being abused and that you deserve more, and you will be able to learn some insight about your own personality and gain some support where you are able to move on and maybe get away from the narcissist. I do understand wanting to try to make your relationship work. I understand wanting to know what type of personality you have been dealing with, especially if you recognize that you've been in a toxic relationship. And now it's going to get easier and easier for people to recognize that they have, because there's people like myself and others who are coming out, and we are talking about narcissistic abuse. And in other countries, that can be considered as a crime. It is not here in the States yet. So it is being talked about a lot more, and the more and more people that talk about it and bring awareness, because people really don't know what it is. It's a soft thing that comes in sometimes. Sometimes it's out there and you know it, and it's domestic violence, and somebody's got a big old bruise on their face, or a bloody nose, or missing teeth, or scratches on their face. And even then you can have a narcissistic person who is creating some of that for themselves to make it look that you've done something to them. But regardless, that is more recognized because you can see the wounds. But when you're being emotionally abused, it is not. People don't understand it, and they don't understand that it takes time, and that it starts out a certain way, and then it gradually goes in, and then by the time you realize that you're being abused, you've been mind manipulated, and you feel somewhat trapped, and you don't know how to get out, and you don't have any support around you, and you really have been set up to look like the one that has the problem. So I want to say that I highly recommend that. A narcissistic person, a sociopath, psychopath, they're going to see therapy as a game. And what you may not realize, or the therapist might not realize, is that when they go in, they're ready to win. It's all about winning, and it is about manipulating and watching the reactions and getting fuel from it, or narcissistic supply from it, and seeing how it all plays out. And you don't realize that you're the pawn in the game. in the chess game, basically. And neither does the therapist, unless they are skilled and do recognize what's going on. And it may take a while. It takes a while to get to know someone and be able to figure out patterns of behavior and triggers and how they act when they're triggered and that type of thing. Find out what's been going on in their life. And, you know, when you're in a session for 30, 45 minutes, it's not that long, especially when there's two of you there. So you're going to have a lot of patience. And my heart goes out to you. If you are being abused and you feel in danger, someone's hitting you, you're in danger, your children are in danger, your family members are in danger, please go to a safe place. Please call 911. Please get out of that situation. Don't allow them to mess with you to make you feel like it'll be okay and they won't ever do it again. You could lose your life over this. So please take it very seriously. And if that is happening with you, I hope that you will go to a safe place and get the help that you need to get out of that. And I understand that it's going to be difficult because you really love this person. And yeah, so that's really all I have to say about the therapy right now. There are some great sites here on YouTube of people who are very aware and are psychotherapists that are aware of narcissistic personality disorder and all of the other disordered personalities on the DSM, and they can give you information on that. If you want more information from a narcissist and want to know how they think, you can go to Knowing the Narcissist right here on YouTube. There's San Vadkin. There's many other places that you can get lots of information. If you think you are a narcissist, if you're questioning that you're a narcissist, if you are, you probably aren't questioning it. You're probably blaming the other person, but and you're not getting any therapy. And if you have, you've already quit. And yeah, I'd like to think that narcissistic people can get help. They really can. They just have to be able to acknowledge it, and if they do, not change their mind 2 days later. And they need to do the therapy and not quit when it gets hard or uncomfortable. And that's usually when they want to quit, and they need to go and find supply to make themselves feel better. And if you recognize that and you can stick it out, then I think that's great. You'll find some things that will help you work better in your interpersonal relationships. Because if you are a narcissist or an antisocial personality disorder person, amongst others, you will have issues in your interpersonal relationships. That's with your family members, with your friends. You won't understand when people will always be getting mad at you. And you will have probably heard the same thing said to you over and over and over again, and you'll just feel like people have ganging up on you. And in your perception, you haven't done anything wrong, I'm sure, because that's how it works out. But if you have these patterns and you have seen these things, then there may be something that you need to go and work on, and it'll help you in your interpersonal relationships. I know even with myself, I did therapy for many, many years. I did extensive therapy because I was ready to grow and figure out what was going on and move forward in my life and meet a healthy partner. And so it was a really long time ago that I went through all of this, but it was a really important time in my life. And I'm grateful for anybody that I've ever been with because I learned a lot from it. I'm grateful for the therapy. I'm so grateful for my family and my friends and the support systems that I've had around me all the years. And so I am praying for all of you. Until next time, bye.